Do you see driverless AV happening in trucking by 2030 in some regional capacity? Do you what would be the growth goal, internationally as well?
Yeah, I'm 2030 and 100%. So we will do our first driverless runs by the end of next year. And then the first driverless commercial deliveries are currently planned for the following year. As you said, 2030. By 2030, we actually see a fairly decent penetration of the lanes that we have. The trucks that are actually running now, will not quote any numbers or anything like that.
That's fair.
But yes, absolutely, you will see those. Now you mentioned internationally. Absolutely, today we have to focus on the US. The market is huge, right? I think we can really do so much change about safety and so on with autonomous trucks just in the US. But we have a lot of inbound requests from countries like Australia, Brazil, India, Europe, of course, all countries that have the same driver shortage issue, right? That really exists everywhere, same safety concerns. So yes, we absolutely see this being a global business, but have to focus on the US so far and then roll it out globally later.
I do have another hurdle question that I am curious about, and that, of course, is macroeconomics. So obviously, we just saw in the trucking industry, Convoy, it's a load board. They closed due to the massive freight recession that's happening, and of course, the contraction in the capital markets. You've got interest rates that are really high, and a Fed that's like, we're going to wait a little longer on high interest rates before backing off of it. We also see that, the other autonomous truck companies out there, many of them, I think there's been 8, it depends on how you count them, 8, 9, 10 of them. 3, 4 of them have shut down. You've got Otto, Starsky, Robotics, Peloton, Locomotion, different approaches, of course. You got Too Simple, who's like, I'm out of the US, we're going to go focus somewhere else. And they're, stock crashed kind of a thing. I'm just curious, obviously self-driving, it's coming and it's expanding very, very fast. Do you see the macroeconomics as a hurdle for Kodiak, and at least in the short term? And what is that scary, issue? And do you see Kodiak being able to be fine moving past it?
The short answer is no, because we are really differentiated from our competition. Mm-hmm. If you look at Kodiak, we have from the very beginning said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So you need to be capital efficient, yes. Right? We call it Spackapalooza. 2 years ago, when everyone went public, yeah. Without revenues, without profit, without secular growth, we were like, yeah, this isn't the right thing for us to do right now, right? This just doesn't make sense. And so we always said, we are focusing on the best talent, not the most talent, right? We want to have the right people. We don't say we need, several thousands of people.
Right.
And so we always stayed nimble and small, and I think this has really, really helped us. And so it's fundamentally different approach. Now, if you think about the general macroeconomic, is there a downtrend? Absolutely. Is there a freight recession? Absolutely. But just think about it. Those things happen all the time, right? There's a freight recession every couple of years.
Yep.
And any carrier that you talk to, they're like, yeah, this is our business. It's happening. We know it's going to go up again, right? So long term, if you have discussions with them, everyone sees, this is what it is right now, but we know freight volume is going to go up again. Yep. So we will have to transport more volume. So we will need autonomous trucks to actually do it because we don't have enough drivers to take care of it.
Exactly.
Right. So when you talk to any carrier, nobody's really concerned about that. Now, of course, today everyone has, hey, I need to focus on, running my business right now, and spend some time on autonomous trucks. But then, next year, when we're hopefully over the hump, everyone is like, okay, now how quickly can we actually roll out autonomous trucks, right? Exactly. That's really the conversation that we're having. In addition, I don't know if you know, but one thing that we did last year, we won a military DoD contract, right?
Yep.
And that is another very recession-proof use case where we identified that we can actually utilize our technology with very, very minor addition. Mostly we can just use our technology. We call it dual use technology, and you will see that really promoted from, the army, from the private industry, this dual use, which makes a lot of sense. So that's another stream where we say, that's really helping us because it is recession proof and it will always be there.
Yeah, totally. And so you mentioned, these different partnerships. I know that you have a partnership development program, people that are part of that. You've mentioned IKEA, but you got Werner, Maersk, 10 Roads, Siva Logistics, US Express, Tyson. I'm just curious, sort of looking in the timeline, can you what's your expectation in the growth of those partnership programs, short-term and long-term?
Yeah, it's really, so today for most of those, we haul freight on, a daily basis, mostly, or 4 to 5 days a week. And we have done that since actually quite some time. For some of them since a year, for some of them it's newer and we're just establishing like long-term operations. And then what we want to do with them is really in those operations, actually set it up in a way as if it was already driverless. So already doing the enhanced inspections, already doing everything, all the processes that are needed around it to operate autonomous trucks. And so then once we actually are able to take out the driver on these commercial runs, it's basically just flipping a switch and saying, oh, we have already done everything. Now we can operate driverless trucks. At that point, it will be a small scale, right? There will be a couple autonomous trucks running for them, not like hundreds immediately. Then we will say, okay, let's say this is the first lane. There are a couple of trucks running. Let's add a second lane. Let's add a third lane. Let's add a couple of trucks here and there. And then really, after we have like a few of those lanes, a few of those deployments, and learned a lot, right? There's so much that we have to learn. Yeah. We don't want to scale too quickly because we still have to improve things. And once we say, okay, this is now really ready to go, then we scale it across the country and of course across fleets and the trucks that they have with us.